What's going on, everybody? Doc, Average Gamer Guys, finally back yet again and jumping into a little Escape from Tarkov action. In this video, I am going over my personal opinions and some tips, both on the new wipe, patch 12.6. Again, going to give some impressions, just what I think about some of the changes, as well as give you my personal top 5 tips for how you can succeed and just some good things to get you going, whether this is your first wipe like myself, or if you're jumping into the game for the first time, kind of with the reinvigorated hype. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Again, at some point, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, all the links will probably pop up. Stream schedule might pop up as well. Just really recommend, if you enjoyed this video, give it that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you want some more Escape from Tarkov action. Going to be doing some quest guides and some other things here over the next couple of days. Hopefully you find those helpful. And then again, we stream pretty regularly throughout the week, at least a couple of days, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hit up some weekend streams as well on Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. So if you have any Escape from Tarkov questions, we play this game a ton. Feel free, come hit us up either in comments down below, or come and join us on Twitch, say hi, hang out for a little bit, and maybe do some raids together, or whatever the case ends up being. But I'm always here to help and answer questions where I can. So without further ado, let's jump into it. First and foremost, 12.6 wipe. My impressions, really like it. We have a couple of new items that have been added. Some of that stuff has been really cool. It's been fun to kind of have some new stuff to go and search for. Some new rigs, some new helmets, some new gear. So I've really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was really cool. Nothing, in my opinion, super game changing, but it's always nice to have some different variances. It's going to be fun here probably in the next 2 months or so as we get a little bit farther into this wipe. With some money and some of the traders unlocked, to really be able to see what else we can create. I really enjoyed the end of the first playthrough for me. Was just kind of modding guns, spending some money modding guns, figuring out how to work the ergo and work recoil and all those kinds of things. So it's cool to have some more options to be able to do that. Found a raid status for flea market. Wasn't really sure on it as we were stepping into it. I've really liked it. I think it's really helped cut down on your hatchling runs. See some pistolers and some Mosins, which I felt like we always saw. But this for me has felt like I've seen a lot less. And I think it's just been good for the economy. It also really rewards the ability to survive and make it through raids. So I'm liking that change. It's going to be interesting to see again what happens as we get later on into the wipe and what's going to kind of happen with that. Obviously, some of the things that should be expensive are. Unfortunately, some of the things that shouldn't be expensive are now, but that's just kind of the way the economy works. So it feels like the flea market system is working more like it was intended. Still not perfect, but I think this is a good change in the right direction. And it just feels good, this whole wipe. Again, this is my first wipe. It just feels good with the whole wipe. One, to start fresh, all stats. The game definitely, everyone that's played this game for a long time has said, plenty of other streamers and YouTubers have all said, that a wipe is the perfect balancer. So if you're just jumping into this game now or within a couple of weeks of this video, you're still in a really, really good spot. You're going to have your hardcore people, they're going to grind, but most people will be at a pretty consistent spot. You won't be super far behind. Everything feels really good right now. And it's fun. The fights are so fun. Not to just get insta-tapped with the best ammo. Still get insta-tapped. It happens. But, to be able to actually get in some gunfights, exchange some shots, has been a ton of fun. So really liking this wipe. And I'm really excited for what else is to come. We're going to have some customs map expansions, some other things coming to the game. And it just feels like it's on a good path right now. And not too many bugs. A lot of the bugs have been kind of ironed out here after this first week or so. We're coming up to the 2-week mark, I think, for this wipe. So really liking it. So that's my impressions. As far as tips, let's jump into it. And again, I think in support, I'm just going to do a quick show just to give you a little bit of basis. So you know that I've been playing this game a lot. So I started right around when the hype of the started last year. I got into it 1,400 hours online, just the one account. And again, been playing this one basically since the wipe. okay stats, I think, overall. Not too bad. The woods has hurt my survival rate recently a little bit. I definitely like the combat aspect of this game, but I have a lot of time in it. Again, I got to the high, almost 60, level 60 last wipe. And again, this is my first wipe for me. So I'm going to give off 5 tips. This is just me personally. Again, plenty of other videos, streamers, YouTubers out there with tons more time in there that also have really, really good advice. If you're looking for more, you just really have to Google it, YouTube search it. But that being said, for me personally, this is what I feel like has helped me. The biggest first thing, and a lot of people are going to mix this around, but for me, I feel like you have to figure out what your goal in the game is. Whether your goal is to get the Kappa container, right? Which is personally one of mine, or it's to jump into the hideout and to max the hideout, or complete all of your tasks with all of your traders and get them to max level. You really just need to figure out what your goal in this game is. And the goal can be something lofty like that. So for me, again, mine's going to be max the hideout as quickly as I can and get to Kappa basically as quickly as I can. Your goal can be a little bit simpler, especially if this is maybe your first time jumping into the game. Maybe this wipe is you just figuring the game out, learning the maps, feeling really comfortable with extracts and where points of interest are, and then just a good, solid way to make some money. That's a really good goal. If you're a little bit more advanced, maybe you're like me and this is your wipe. Maybe you didn't get the Kappa the last time. I really feel like pick something, stick to it. That's gonna make one. I think that's gonna give you a goal within this game. That can be sometimes hard to find the goal, right? If you're not really interested in doing the task, you don't really care about the hideout, you're going to go and make money and try to find PvP, which is super fun. But sometimes you can get lost in a little bit of that. So, my number one tip, figure out what your goal is, work towards that. I think it's going to be a lot more rewarding experience as you progress through this game. And then you do have the satisfaction of obviously completing something, which it's one of the things about this game that it does lack. No real story, so there's no real end point. But kind of achieving that goal, again, whatever it is, I think is a good way to do that. The second one, and everybody talks about this, is learn your maps. Whether you feel like you know them, whether you played this game a ton, you can always learn something else. Or if you're new or newer and haven't played a ton, you have to learn your maps. There's some really key essential ones, right? So like labs is probably not the priority if you're getting pretty fresh into this game. Learn your customs, your woods, your shoreline, your interchange, because that's where the vast majority of your tasks are. That's where if you ever choose to go for Kappa, you ever want to upgrade your traders, those are going to be really, really key. If you want to find a good way to make money, you can go to reserve, learn reserve really, really well. But learn your maps. Here's the interesting thing about this game, and I took this for granted coming into this first wipe, is I did not realize how important my game knowledge was going to be. If you're jumping into this game for the first time and you're really, really good at shooters, that's great. That's going to help you in a very small portion of fights, in my opinion. Your ability to know angles, map knowledge, where people can be, is going to trump that 95% of the time. Yeah, every once in a while you might get surprised and you might be able to do a flick and drop somebody. But a lot of times, if you're getting shot and you don't know where you're getting shot from, you're probably dead. That's just the way this kind of game is. And I think that's the way it's intended to be. So learn your maps, learn your points of interest, learn your spawns, I think is really, really big and is going to really help you in the long-term success of this game for you. Whether you run it as a PMC or as a scav, that can definitely not hurt you. The next thing I'm going to talk about, point number 3, is going to be stacking your quests. Now, if you don't care about leveling your traders, which I think everyone should, you should care about your quests. What I feel like a lot of people do, especially as they're newer, is they don't know how to kind of stack their quests up, right? Every trader has a quest progression system. Some feed off of one another, so you have to complete certain things before other quests will open up. So sometimes you don't have a choice, but a lot of times, especially as you progress into I'll call it the mid part of the game, you start getting into those mid 20 levels, you're going to have a lot of tasks open up at once. So I'll give you just a quick example. of what you can do here. So, Ragman is perfect for this. These are some of his initial quests. I have not progressed Ragman very far. But you can see I have 3 quests all on interchange, right? So the ability to stack your quests is going to make it so that every time you go into these maps, you can focus on a couple of different things, right? And even if you fail the raid, even if you die, but say you were able to mark 2 of these tanks with the markers as part of this quest, the raid can still feel like a success, right? Because you still made forward progress. This game is one where you're not going to live every raid. You're not going to live very many raids probably, especially if you're new. So having the option and having a couple of different things to work towards at the same time is really, really good. The interesting thing about this is there are some quests that you can do this with. Some quests you can't. Some you got to find an item and you have to be able to survive. That's okay. But having a couple of quests stacked at the same time on a specific location is going to give you a lot of different options on how to play the map. Either go into high, points of interest, high traffic areas, and get some fights, or focus a little bit more on your quests. Maybe take a little bit more off a beaten path, and I think you'll find that you'll have some success with doing that as well. So really recommend that. The other thing that stacking quests does for you, beyond helping to level your traders up very, very quickly, is experience. And getting experience and being able to progress to those next levels is going to be really, really big, especially as you level your traders up. If you don't know, they open up a lot of different options. They open up a lot of different ammo, a lot of different attachments that are really, really useful as you progress into the game. So being able to level your traders up is really, really important. So that's my 3rd tip for you. The next tip I have, and I see a variance of opinion on this, but utilize your scav. Utilize your scav for a couple of different things. If you're new, you can utilize your scav to go in and help you learn some of these maps. It's literally free gear. You lose nothing. If you spawn in with something great, maybe you need a Mosin for some of your Jaeger quests. You have the option to spawn into a map, get to an extract, maybe grab a couple of loot things on the way, and get out free stuff. Also a great way to make some money. Making money is critical to this game. In my opinion, it's not the most important thing. I've played a lot of this game where I stay relatively low on a stash value. I think right now I'm sitting at maybe 400, 420. However, I've made really, really good progress, in my opinion, on my hideout. So I've been spending a ton of money on trying to upgrade this. This is one of my big kind of goals for this wipe, is get this upgraded as fast as I can. You see I'm going to Med Station 3 right now. Really excited about that for the level I'm at. But utilize your scav and find a good opportunity to use your scav where you feel comfortable. I think that's the other thing that a lot of people do, is they take their scav and they say, well, reserve is the best place to make money and the most geared players go here. So I'm going to scav into this and I'm going to try to do that. Your success rate is probably going to be really, really low, in my opinion. You might get lucky where a bunch of scavs and stuff kill some players after they killed some raiders and you stumble upon some gear. The opportunity of that to happen very, very low, especially if you don't know the map. However, if you do know customs really well, or maybe you know factory, or maybe you really know interchange really well, your scav is going to be, and your success on that map is going to be 10 times better. For you going in, your map knowledge, you to know where to go to get the loot is also really, really important. So utilize your scav, especially early in a wipe. It's going to help you grab some guns, some gear, some really, really important hideout or barter items that are selling for a lot of money. The high value stuff that people are used to is kind of on reverse right now for a lot of it, not all of it, but for a lot of it. Whereas you have a corrugated hose right now going for like 100K a piece. You could go into interchange, find 2, 3, 4 of those, and you've got 400, 500,000 easy in barter items without a problem. So tip number 4, utilize your scav, especially early in the wipe, or if you have trouble making money. Free knowledge, basically free everything. So really, really recommend doing that. The 5th tip, this is going to sound really cheesy. My 5th and last tip is you've got to find a way to have fun in this game. Again, if the PvP is what you're after, expect to die a lot. But if you enjoy that, find a way to go and enjoy that, right? You have to find a way to have fun. This game is one of those games especially through the first wipe and jumping into this for 12.6 patch, that I've realized like there are times where I'll hit like 2 or 3. I played earlier today. I had like 3 woods raids where I died within the first maybe 5 minutes of the raid, right? Maybe kill a guy, push a fight, kill a couple of scavs, and then bam, I'm dead. And I realized after those like 3 raids in a row like that, I needed to take a break, right? Because that's the cycle of this game, in my opinion. I see a lot of folks. I kind of jump into the Reddit every once in a while. I see a lot of folks asking for help, right? How do I make money? How do I get good at this game? Time makes you really good at this game. Time and trying to learn from your mistakes. If you have a mentality, again, that you're just going to be really good and you're going to survive all these raids, that is 100% not going to happen. Even the biggest streamers die quite a bit. And I cannot express enough how much information and understanding will keep you alive more than anything else in this game. But find a way to have fun. If it takes going in with a squad, that's another really, really big thing. I've had an opportunity to play with a couple of folks from my community, and I did not do that basically at all my first playthrough, the previous wipe, and I'm really happy to be able to do that. It's definitely a different dynamic to the game. Call outs, information, knowing where people are. The sound is way different, interestingly enough. But that was a lot of fun to find what makes this game fun for you and enjoy it. So, not super quick and short video, but hopefully, you had an opportunity. You learned something. I'm really interested to hear what you think about my 5 top tips. Let me know how your playthrough of this is going, how this wipe has been treating you. And again, stay tuned for some additional info. I've got some quest guides coming up as we've progressed through a few, specifically stacking quest guides. So one of my tips that I talked through earlier, actually going to be doing a couple of videos where I had some really good success on stacking some quests together and made some really good progress in single raids. So I'm going to go over that. Hopefully that's beneficial for you. Again, come swing by the Twitch and Discord and all that stuff. If you enjoyed this video, again, appreciate the support. Thank you for stopping in. Last thing I'll throw out there before we close out is the Wiki. The Escape from Tarkov Wiki is a huge support. At some point, talking about stacking quests and quest lines and traders, I probably threw up some pictures of some of basically the outline. Really important. If you have any info or any questions about that, go over the Wiki. If I remember, I'll link it down below. Huge resource. I use it all the time to help with quest guides, figure out items, keys, all that good stuff. So feel free, jump over there and do a little bit more learning. Like I said, knowledge is power when it comes to this game. So I'm a Doc, Average Gamer, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.